Greetings, y'all. Welcome into episode 85 of the Dumb Marks podcast. It's your boys, your favorite Saturday brunch bunch, back at it again. The best four-man booth in the business. We are whole. Chris is back from the real life job trip.
Vacation.
Oh, vacation.
Yeah.
It was a vacation.
It was a wedding.
We could tell because you never sent in any of your stuff for the week last week. So good job.
When I went on break, I went on break.
I'll send it over. Don't worry. I'm reviewing the drink right now. I'll give it over. Nothing. I'm like, Donald, did he not send anything last week? Nope, didn't send nothing. So
maybe that was my take.
He went ghost. He ghosted us on the pod, and then shows up. Like he never called off. Like, oh no, I was here last week. What are you talking about?
I was in the back room,
Yeah, I was in the back all day. What's going on, man? I know we're all Northeast here. I'm so over rain and floods and everything else. This is ridiculous.
True.
Two amount of rain.
Yeah, craziness. So there's my Jay starting with the weather topic. Get that out there for you. So I know intro wise, Chris, I know you got a story to get into, I guess, from your vacation while you weren't, working last week on the podcast. Something happened. So you can get into that. And then Jay looks a little tired this morning. Looks a little run down. Maybe only slept 18 hours instead of 20 hours out of the day yesterday. So he's a little sleep deprived. Might need to bring up an argument from this week on Facebook to get his pep and his step back up after this.
The pre-match nap.
How do you? He sleeps all night, wakes up, takes a pre-game nap, and now comes on. And then whenever he gets off, he takes a post-game nap.
Look, I got to revitalize myself for the week. This is my recharging time.
Need to get ready for Mother's Day tomorrow, right?
That's it.
Yeah, after all you horrible sons 3 ins.
Poor Donald over here. Donald, you got that inhaler over there, just in case?
I did.
See, look, Donald shows up. He's battling some stuff right now. He comes on, but you're busy in the sand, kicking feet up, drinking Mai Tais. You could have tuned in.
Actually.
Nice. All right. So what do you got for us for story time with Chris, baby?
So it wasn't from vacation, but went to Florida last week for my cousin's wedding. Beautiful
this
beach
can go
wedding.
A number of ways when you say Florida. I went to Florida. You don't know where this is going. So.
But it was great. But I came back on Monday. Tuesday, I went down to Stage AE for the Sum 41 Simple Plan concert.
Wow.
One got caught in the tornado outside, so that was a complete mess. Got inside, was completely drenched by the time we went in. Opening band, they were good. Simple Plan was good. Each took a break in between, but then everything was cool. Just, everybody's kind of just standing around, enjoying the music. It was a good show. And then Sum 41 started, and then everybody brought that energy, and the mosh pit started. And I'm sitting there going, I was like, no, I don't want to do this. Like, I'm down there. And just like, no, I'm 38. and everybody's just pushing it. It's just like, it's going everywhere. It's just like back and forth. And anywhere I'm moving, it's just following me. Like, I'm trying to get away from it. And it keeps following me. And people are falling on the ground. I was like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm seeing people's phone break. They're dropping all their shit everywhere. Everybody's trying to pick it up and then getting pushed down on the ground. And so then, like, I get up closer. So I'm thinking I'm up close by the stage. I should be okay. There's another big dude.
It's the worst. That's the worst part. That's the worst spot to go to.
But it was like right.
Chris logic. Let me get closer to the fire.
Yeah. Well, going backwards wasn't helping out. So let me go try something different. So we go up to the front of the stage, and the front of the stage, because where the barricade was, no one up there was doing anything. And there was another like big dude like me up there, and like he was like trying to push him. I mean, I just kind of locked eyes with him, like, dude, like it's not the day. Like I had enough of this. He goes, all right, it's cool. So everybody was like kind of getting pushed around, and did the thing for a little bit, and I walked out there going like, you know what? Had that Murtaugh moment. I'm just getting too old for this shit.
Yeah.
You should have been down there anyway. You should have been at the bar.
Right,
away from it all. Yeah.
Yeah, your first mistake was you got to know better than that. You know,
You didn't learn from the Houston concert, like going to the front's the worst spot to go to.
What if Christian said fucking and let loose?
Yeah, just start
throwing bodies.
Throwing bodies, yeah, just elbows out there, like
looking like Warlow on
Wednesday.
Yeah, next week is the versus battle with Onyx and I'm drawing a blank right now. Yeah, it's Onyx and House of Pain, and I'm like, there is no way I'm doing jump around for 4.5 minutes. Like that, those days, like that's not happening. That's over with. Not doing it. I don't even think I could do it for all the choruses throughout the song, like, let alone the entire song. Like
that's what.
But a mosh pit.
That's what they kept saying. They go, everybody jump up. They go, like, yeah, you're in my hand. That's it.
Yeah, no, not doing that.
My cardio game isn't that strong right now.
No, not at all. I do.
Well,
I mean, we. Are you kidding? You know, you were all in that mosh pit when Fallon came on.
Mosh pits, that has to be one of the whitest things ever, right? Like,
oh, absolutely.
That's yeah. If we're I mean, I know Donald and Jay aren't saying nothing, but the looks, I mean, like that's
I've been to a concert where mosh pits broke out, and guess where I was at? I was at the bar drinking.
That's chairs and furniture there. That's not a mosh pit. That's still chairs.
I mean, there's mosh pits. There's well, we won't veer down this road, but that's I've never partaked in a mosh pit. Never had the desire to.
It wasn't my first one, but it's probably gonna be my last.
Now, is that slam dancing? Is that the same as slam dancing?
No,
is just out there throwing fists and shit.
No, that's like
that's where you are throwing body.
I don't want to do that. I want to slam dancing.
Dude, wait, Kanye had a mosh pit?
That sounds right though. Kanye sounds right.
What song? I don't even know what songs in Kanye's.
I think Lil Wayne had one when he had his rock album out. When he was doing a concert with his rock album.
I can see that.
Jason just let out that sigh like with such disappointment.
Yeah, so he's still he's gonna put the hood Batman sign up after the show to have a meeting. Like, listen, we can't be having mosh pits at Kanye's concerts no more. Okay,
I'm mad you remember Wayne had a rock album.
I listen to it all the time.
You listen to that, and then the Jay-Z and Linkin Park album.
That Worlds Collide.
Fade had the mosh pit.
Yeah.
Hey, never even heard of it, but yeah.
When Jesus Walks?
No.
Jason's woken up.
That would definitely get canceled now.
So you said Jesus Walks, and it just made me, because I watched the Genius doc, the 3-part doc on Netflix about Kanye. Super good. If you like documentaries and you like documentaries for documentary's sake, go on Netflix and watch the Genius doc on Kanye. 3 parts, really good. But when you said Jesus Walks, it just like made me think back to that documentary about everything and how he did that album or did that video, then reshot the video, and just it was just the amount of time and effort that they put into that. And he redid it like 19 times to get it perfect, like, because it's Kanye. You got to be a perfectionist, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's just funny. Jesus Walks in a mosh pit. That's what wasn't there explosions and stuff like that in that video? I don't even remember. I can't
even remember the video. That's how long it's been.
I remember there were 2, but I don't remember either of them.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Kanye's new boots, that him and AB be wearing around, they're good for all the rain as well as in mosh pits, because you got that extra lift. You can come down more, bring more force there, thicker sole. When you're jumping up and down on somebody. Go, man. All right, so Chris was in a mosh pit this week. I'm telling you, every time this dude comes on with something that's like, something new after 25 plus years of knowing the guy.
Jason mosh pits the sugar pie honey bun
with a honey bun in his hand. That's how he mosh pit.
You know me well.
That's right. All right. All right. Well, I'll say we don't. Well, I mean, Jay, it's up to you if you want to get into the Facebook debate that we put out there.
Oh, you can.
You
had a terrible take. What I said is I pour yum yum sauce over chicken stir fry like milk over cereal. I just noticed that today, or the day I posted it. I was just sitting at work and I'm like, this is just a bowl of soup right now. Like yum yum sauce or just rice, just a little sprinkle of rice.
My immediate comment to that was yum yum sauce equals trash and overrated.
It's the highlight of hibachi.
No, it's not.
It's the highlight.
No, it's not. The flaming onion castle tower is the highlight of hibachi. Okay?
No, that's not. That's annoying.
All right. When they flick the shrimp and do the magic tricks with the shrimp, that's the highlight of hibachi.
That's annoying. That's crowd participation. I don't need that. I need food.
That is true. I'm with Jason. You need to stop the show and cook the food.
But when you go to hibachi, you're getting a show. What do you like?
Well, I never choose to go to hibachi. I end up at hibachi.
Mm-hmm.
You don't like going to hibachi?
It's people, man. No. You need to flip some shit, man.
I come to eat. If I want a show, I'll go down to the cultural district and find a chef.
Yes.
Cook the damn food. That's what you're there for. You're a chef, right? Cook the food.
They're cooking it with some spice, with some pizzazz, getting you excited to eat your food.
Hey, McDonald's ain't flipping my fries with pizzazz. Shouldn't go.
Well, when you eat McDonald's 14 times, out of the week, 2 meals a day,
you walk in, they just go to scum as usual.
I've only had it twice in 2 years, so I'm doing good.
I can't, but man, hibachi,
Now, what do you get?
Hibachi. Whenever I go, I'm either a steak and chicken guy or I'll do chicken and scallops.
And then what do you put on top of that?
With the rice and I don't get yum sauce at all. I slide mine over to whoever I'm sitting.
What's the sauce? You eat it raw? Bare bones?
They cook it with the soy sauce and everything else. You don't need to add nothing extra to that. It already comes deliciousness.
No, it doesn't.
Absolutely. You don't need the extra. No extra at all. Yeah.
I like yum yum sauce, but I don't like pour it on there. It's a little dash. Little dash.
So
make it.
But I've been dying on some hills the last 3 weeks, and I might as well just continue that with the Adele.
Down on a lot of hills, man.
Trash. Yum yum sauce is trash. So
get off my lawn over here.
I got 3 groups of stands coming at me. There with that. So anything else intro wise? The disappointment, the excitement and disappointment that I had yesterday watching something. Cobra Kai came out with a video and dropped the announcement date for season 5. Video looks great. Super pumped for the show. But they moved it from my birthday. They took it off the New Year's Eve debut and they pushed it ahead. Comes out September 9th.
They gave Dawn and Jason their birthday wish this year.
With better birthdays.
Yeah. So although I'm very excited to watch it, I'm highly disappointed that, the highlight of my birthday was waking up and knowing that I have all day to binge Cobra Kai.
You can hold off and wait. We won't spoil it for you.
Yeah, right. Yes, people were live tweeting spoilers from Doctor Strange.
Yes, they were.
I don't know what I'm going to do. I have no idea what I'm going to do. We're a podcast. We go on air. We have to be online, tweeting along, engaging with people. How can I go on the internet and be a productive show this week if you can't go anywhere without a Doctor Strange spoiler popping up?
They are everywhere. Hey,
I'm not gonna lie to the people listening out there. I told the guys, I was like, screw the podcast this week. Let's just go see Doctor Strange. Nothing more masculine than being a 20-something-year-old man saying the words "yum yum sauce" out loud, or us 30-something-year-old men,
Yeah.
all pushing 40.
Yeah, and yeah, my thanks for the
New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve is my birthday. So that's when Cobra Kai dropped. But I appreciate the early shout out. That's amazing. Man.
Almost a half birthday though. So
yeah, almost a half. So yeah, but yeah, that was the excitement, and then the other. Oh man, it's not gonna be on my birthday this year. Kind of a letdown, you know. But other than that, I got nothing else for the intro. I probably do, but nothing worth getting into.
Yeah,
we can cover if something pops up throughout the show, or I see scrolling wise. We can hit it up in final thoughts there. So, with that, everybody want to get in the bell to bell?
let's do it.
Let's go. All right, so very interesting, newsworthy week from the world of wrestling. We can debate how much the wrestling was interesting this week. With that being said, I guess we can kick it off with the E, since we have WrestleMania Backlash tomorrow. You want to run down the card? You want to cover the week that was? How do you want to handle it? I'm an open book right now for the WWE because the only thing I watched start to finish this week was NXT.
You didn't watch Monday? Monday was actually a good Raw.
I watched the Cody
I did not.
Broken Skull yesterday.
I'm gonna watch that too.
We could run down the card and just talk
Raw
about
was a good
the
show.
match within the week. So that's
All right, we'll cover the
guy.
card. Jay, you can add tidbits in. You can participate and drive this segment here when talking WWE and break down what happened on either show to either add intrigue or make you not want to watch this pay-per-view tomorrow. So
Nobody watched SmackDown either.
No,
I skimmed through it, and that's about it.
I was watching a movie with me and Kendall had movie night last night. So
what'd you watch?
Well, Comcast right now they have the free watch along this week for all the premium channels, and I still haven't seen Venom 2, but it's on Stars. So Kendall didn't see the first Venom, so we rewatched that last night, so she could watch that, so we could watch the second one tonight.
Okay.
So yeah.
Let's check that out. All right, we'll start off with Bobby Lashley versus Almost.
This was the worst part of every Monday. Every Monday.
Because of Almost.
Yeah. He's not a believable giant right now to me. He got new teeth, but he's not a believable giant.
He got the veneers fixed.
He got the Roman grill.
What did you say?
The Roman grill.
Oh, right.
The Roman grill. Here's my take with Almost. You had him paired with AJ Styles for almost 2 years?
Yeah.
A la Shawn Michaels and Diesel. And when he came out of it, didn't do nothing for him. Couldn't get the rub from Styles. And now you're working with Bobby Lashley, who arguably has been the hottest he's ever been in wrestling based off of the last year plus. And to me, unless they deliver a match tomorrow night, it's not working. He's not going to be a guy. Like the with the NFL draft recently and everything else, people are always talking about quarterbacks and we got a guy. He's a quarterback. He's a franchise guy. He's somebody we can have on the team for 10 plus years. They can take us, to playoffs, championship games, make multiple Pro Bowls. Like, and in wrestling, there's certain guys that you look at and go, okay, this is a guy, right? I'm not. I just
No.
But to me, Almost he's not a guy. He's just not. Like it's not gonna work for him. I just don't see him ever getting to that point where, regardless of how much they put around him, whether it's MVP, Lashley, AJ. Just if you can't get over with those guys working with you, then it's just,
especially those
it's
guys.
not going. Yeah, it's not going to happen. So
Or you just need to be with somebody's muscle. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to see. I want Bobby to win this, but for some reason, I'm thinking WWE 50-50 book's going to happen. So I'm picking Almas to win because I think that they want him to do something. So they're going to 50-50 book it.
I have that
Probably
same
not wrong
feeling.
on that. Yeah.
I hope, but
You're probably the MVP interference, or maybe what's the other one? Damn, not Benjamin, but Cedric. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he's just so stiff in that ring. Like, and I don't think it's necessarily his working. I think it's just him. And you can't do anything about that. And it just doesn't make watching him enjoyable at all.
right.
Yeah, there's been WWE likes to have a big guy. And there's nothing wrong with that because there have been big guys that can move. So that's fine. But he's not the guy to be your next big guy. And yeah, I'm not even hoping that they do 50-50 booking. I just want to see Lashley win because there's no reason he should lose to this guy. We'll go next to Happy Corbin versus Madcap Moss.
No, we won't. We'll skip right over that. Nope, not doing that.
Madcap.
What'd I say?
We both said Madcap.
No, we both said Madcap.
We'll go into SmackDown Women's Championship and I Quit match: Charlotte versus Ronda Rousey.
I have no. This has been the worst. I don't want to say the worst, but the way that they've gone about trying to build this and the effort that Charlotte has put out there to not be matched and just have a sinking, big old construction block attached to her ankles being pulled down by Ronda. To me, there's nothing that they can do to make this meaningful to me. Like both women need to go on and do something else elsewhere because it's not working for either one of them together. And maybe it'll be beneficial to Ronda to get away from Charlotte because her and Charlotte just don't work. I don't know, but I'm not excited for this at all to where I feel like the woman's I Quit match is something I Quit matches in general to me are like, if you look at the history of them, Rock Mankind, Sasha Bailey, like just build up to that point to where the only way to end this feud is to have one of you say I quit, and it just doesn't have that steam behind it. So to me, it's just a stipulation for a stipulation's sake.
I'm gonna go with Charlotte with this because I don't think Ronda is championship material. Not on the mic, not on the ring, like anything. Just like we said, she needs to move on, and she does not deserve the title at all. By the way she looks and talks in the ring right now. So Charlotte.
Is somebody crumbling papers? Or is that your mic rubbing against your hoodie? Oh. I'm like, what? I'm like, Jason, enough with the Pop-Tart wrappers. Jeez, oh man. I just want to make sure I'm not losing it over here, hearing shit in the background. Like,
don't I agree with you? Like, but I see. I think just the stipulation of this match, I don't see them ever having Ronda say I quit, and to me, that's Ronda winning.
Telegraph the finish.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. But it's like, who do you have take it off Ronda? I know they're probably in Lacey to be next, but
Lacey's not a heel.
You wanted to take it off Charlotte.
I would much rather have Charlotte retain and her move into a feud with Lacey because it's fresh. We haven't seen it in how long. It's a different presentation for Lacey. You can go about it different ways. I just don't know. Yeah, I mean, besides Charlotte, who else is a heel on SmackDown? Natty and Shayna?
Mm-hmm.
Neither one of them are primed to be in the title picture. So, yeah, I don't.
And then my thing is, if you make Ronda say quit, to me, I think she's done.
Oh, absolutely. You can't. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's pro wrestling or not. You're not going to have the the real life MMA at one time baddest woman on the planet that was knocking everybody out and submitting everybody, say I quit and then have credibility when she gets back in there again. You just can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Lesnar would never say I quit.
No.
So why are you going to have Ronda do it?
Yeah.
I'm going to go Ronda.
Go. Anything else?
No.
All right, we got 2 WrestleMania rematches. The first one we'll go with AJ Styles versus Edge.
I don't like this whole Judgment Day group from Edge. Right now, it's just not doing anything for me. I know people are in love.
Ronda is to wrestling what Sonny is to following, not breaking the law.
I see where Dave's at this morning. I like the energy.
Dave's got some good energy this morning.
Yeah, we're not going to touch that. Although I did read the report this morning about, I think it was what 8 lawns and as well as a DUI charge that she got arrested
12
for.
12 counts
again.
total. Yeah.
Why haven't they stripped her of her Hall of Fame status? It took forever to get China in, right? But yet, Sonny, no problem. Keep her in. Put her out there.
Have they really stripped anybody from their Hall of Fame status?
No, I mean it's a fictitious Hall of Fame, anyways.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like you're worried about you know, for the longest time the argument was made, you're worried about Googling China and see what pops up for kids. Well, Google Sonny and see what pops up. So it's the same argument, and she's been a Hall of Famer longer and has done worse shit. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Yeah, from Edge in this group, I'm just not into it right now. I don't know why. It hasn't clicked with me. I know people love it. People love where Edge is going. They feel like he's been cutting the best promos of his life and everything else, and I'm just not here for the Judgment Day Brood 2.0 Undertaker Purple Light. Just does nothing for me. I'm more excited about Finn and AJ coming together if they're going to roll with that than I am with Edge's group and where that goes.
I need them to add another member just to see. Maybe if they add Ciampa and Rhea, if they do that, I might be on board. Like right now, I'm not on board with it, and just because it's him and Damian can go off bat, and his promos just aren't clinking with me lately. They don't bring.
You've had Ciampa out there. You've had Ciampa out there taking out Ali, so it's like, how is that going to work into Edge and what he's like? The reason as to why he formed the group. You know, if you go off his logic as to why he selected Priest, it's because, you know, he was doing everything for the fans, and yet he's playing second fiddle to Bad Bunny and all this other stuff. Like, Ciampa doesn't have that backstory to work in the group based off of what they've told so far. Rhea, yeah. Rhea, I could say, definitely fits based off of that because it's like, you know, you had single star, you had her lose, drop the belt to Charlotte and everything else. Then she gets called up. You don't do nothing with her. She finishes second in the Royal Rumble. Then you put her in a tag team with a superhero, only to have her get out of that tag team and put her in another tag team with Liv. It's just like I can jump on board with that story for her because she has that history. Yeah. Ciampa is just a recent call-up. He got nothing to draw on to make him fit as a member of the group. Although I would like to see him with the group.
Just you might be able to do something, talk about how long he's been in the business and just never been able to get that call up until now.
Because the heel turn is just random, like.
But why have him with Ali if they're going to eventually work? Like, you know what I mean? Right now, right now, I don't see the path to where Ciampa joins in, and I go, it makes perfect sense as to why he's in the group. I'll go with AJ. I want AJ, but this isn't going to be a clean 1, 2, 3. I don't think.
Let me go AJ.
AJ.
Clean sweep, AJ.
So that means Edge is winning.
Edge is winning. So let's go to the other rematch. We got Cody Rhodes versus Seth freaking Rollins.
This is where I think WWE 50-50 booking, but with all the momentum and press and everything else Cody's done, and he's been fantastic interview-wise, completely open and honest no matter who he sits down with. I listened to him on Graves' podcast. Really good interview there. I didn't catch Stone Cold yet. I started to watch it last night, and it was like 11:30, and I kept like dozing off on the couch. So I was like, let me cut this now because I'm just not going to make it through. So I want to go back and watch it there. Cody's going to get the ball and run with it. So why not just have him win clean again over Seth, and then you move on and start to build up the mountain to eventually face Roman at some point.
Yep, Cody.
Yeah. To me, it's going to take a lot to knock Seth off this pedestal with a loss. So it doesn't hurt him. So I'm going with Cody.
Yeah, I agree. But it wouldn't surprise, like what Steve brought up before, it wouldn't surprise me if they did 50-50 booking here either. So, but I want Cody to win. So, which will take us to right now. The main event is the 6-man tag team match, the Bloodline versus RK Bro and Drew McIntyre.
All right, so let me throw this out there, and then Jay, you can touch on it because you watched it. You watched the show this week. Reports this morning were that this was always the plan for the match. They were never planning on unifying the tag team titles. This is the direction they were going to go with from the beginning. Based off of that logic, is it smart after you unify the world titles on the next pay-per-view, it's not defended at all? Like,
yeah. Just because it's the magnitude of it, the belt. We want to save it for a bigger pay-per-view, I believe.
I didn't think about it from that angle.
Mm-hmm. Like how many people? I mean, we're going to watch Backlash, but how many people?
How many people are really actually going to tune in and watch it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I guess, yeah, besides your diehards.
Absolutely, Dave.
Yeah.
That's it right now. We'll see if they add anything.
I don't. This pay-per-view never made sense to me.
Yep.
Like it just fit as part of we'll throw a pay-per-view the next month, a couple weeks later, so that way we hit a pay-per-view every single month. And just, it never did anything for me from that standpoint. And it was just rematches of Mania, even though we're only getting 2. But the stories for the other matches were continuations from Mania, right? Corbin and Moss, that's a continuation from Mania, even though they didn't wrestle on Mania. You know what I mean? So, yeah,
there have been some good backlashes, but I probably couldn't even count on a full hand how many there have been.
So they ended the show last night with the baby faces going over, right? Drew hit a Claymore on Roman. Isn't that how they ended the show last night?
Yeah.
Well, that tells you your ending right there.
I mean, obviously, to me, this is going to be the summer of Drew, and you're going to get Roman and Drew at the Clash at the Castle in September. And I really do not want to see that because you almost have to book Drew to win.
Yeah.
Based on where it's at.
Yep.
And how long it's been since you've had a pay-per-view there. And if you want to send everybody home happy, which is the WWE way, you have Drew beat Roman, and Drew should not be the guy to beat Roman.
Or God mode.
That's a much better story.
If
you have Roman beat Drew in the UK after 30 years of not running a true pay-per-view there,
that's some heat.
And you have 70,000 people booing, and who knows the crazy chance they'll come up with if Roman wins. I want to see that more than the cheers and yays and confetti. No, give me a pissed off English crowd. Much more entertaining from my standpoint. But yeah, this pay-per-view is going to suck. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, this is going to be background noise tomorrow night. Like,
We're going out to dinner, so I doubt I'll even watch it or tune in late.
It's going to deliver. It's going to deliver to the name of WrestleMania Backlash.
Well, tell me how it is.
Dave said, I hate that Mania is no longer the show that cuts all ties for feuds. I agree. And this is kind of why I hate that they do the draft in the fall now. Because I used to like whenever they did it right after WrestleMania, because that kind of shook everything up. You know, that you had to change the feuds up.
Which rumors are is that the draft is going to be after SummerSlam or beginning of September. Yeah. So we're getting the fall draft again, which then goes, well, what are we unifying the heavyweight championships for? Yeah. We're not getting rid of the brand split. And no other belts are being unified right now. So to tie into that, Fox allegedly and reportedly wants SmackDown stars only on SmackDown. They don't want crossover. So if they don't want crossover, then you really can't end the brand split because they want their stars on their show.
I get that, but I would think that you'd want to have more stars available. Yeah. If you can sit there and say that you have everybody to promote, why wouldn't you want that?
Yeah, true.
I mean, I agree, but who knows? Like the whole Fox USA dynamic and NBC Universal, like with it being on Peacock and Fox is supposedly coming out with their own full-time streaming network at some point to have everything under one umbrella for them. It's going to be very interesting. And I don't know if it's teed up for like a bidding war and whoever has the highest bid will get everything, but then you kind of throw away 40 plus year relationship with NBC that you had for chasing the dollar. It's going to be, that's an interesting, we talk about AEW and the Warner Discovery and what that's going to do for Dynamite, although they're coming out with a new show based off of what was sent around this week. So like this whole network mergers, background streaming platforms, it's going to be very interesting over the next 5 to 10 years on where stuff lands, not just pro wrestling wise, but in general.
And the end of this year. So right now, WWE's next day licensing goes to Hulu. And that right now that expires the end of this year. So they could renew with Hulu or they could go somewhere else. And that's a whole thing too.
Yeah. Very, very interesting subplots. And not just, if you're not even wrestling fans, just sports fans in general, you need to keep an eye on this stuff because who was I listening to this week? I was listening to Dana White on the Pivots podcast, and he was talking about how he feels over the next 5, 10, 15 years, it's going to almost go back to Channel 3, Channel 5, Channel 11, and Channel 13, where you're going to have 4 to 5, whether it's Amazon, Apple, Disney, whoever, you're going to have 4 to 5 streaming platforms, and they're going to have everything. So you're going to be back to just a handful, your handful of channels, but you're going to be able to watch everything based off of those channels. And we've seen the way with NFL rights, how they've changed up. And now this stuff with WWE, it's just going to be very interesting behind the scenes stuff to pay attention to over the next decade, 5 to 10 years.
What do we have? So like I said, you got the Hulu rights then, and I think we only have like 2 or 3 years left on the current deal with Fox, I think.
Then everything's back up for negotiation.
Yeah. So that's USA and so that's SmackDown and Raw both up for negotiation. So I mean things could get renewed again or changes could happen.
I mean, if you're WWE, you want the renewal to be how you had it now, right? Because you're double dipping. You're getting paid from 2 separate places, so it's more coin in the bag. But what if Amazon steps in and goes, "Hey, I know you got 1.2 billion from Fox. We'll give you 5 and move everything to Amazon."
They would do it.
They're going to turn down 5 billion. You know what I mean? Like the way money's being thrown out there, like it's going to be very, very interesting. So
And corporations, billions becoming the new millions. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So, money on top of money, and none that I can get.
Right.
Anything else from main roster WWE that you guys want to touch on that you saw this week? Jay, you'd be the one to bring it up for us to debate.
No.
I couldn't do another Raw after the previous week. Like I just couldn't do it. I tuned in for 2 weeks in a row, and they just
missed a
go home shows aren't what they used to be. So I kind of just skipped it. I forget what I was watching Monday night, but I feel like there was something else on. So
they did have their conference call this week, and they said that WrestleMania saw a 61% increase in viewership on Peacock this year from last year. And in India, there was a 56 million viewers on Sony Sports in India, which saw a 54% increase globally. So it's
and then people wonder why you have Veer, Shanky, and Jinder.
Yeah.
Or why AEW is coming out with Satnam Singh and Sanjay Dutt. That's a market that is huge. And Impact, TNA, they were the first ones to go over there and capitalize on that.
Yeah.
That was one of their biggest markets for years. Whenever it was down here in the States, they were booming over there. Like that's what kept TNA afloat for years was their deals and viewership over in India. So
and the UK. And they did that Rinka King over there, and that was pretty big at the time. Someone's got to break that market.
It's going to be the Dumb Marks Pod because they're the ones that tune in the most. They're the second largest audience to this podcast. So we salute
we appreciate
the Dumb Marks over there in India. This guy's tremendous. I don't know. He ate his Wheaties this morning.
Man.
He ate his Wheaties. He's coming.
You missed a good show.
It's not noon. It's not noon yet, boy. What you sipping on over there in Chicago?
Dave, did you get your tickets for Forbidden Door?
Jay, here's the problem with what you said, Jay. Well, at least this is what my big thing is. It's so hit and miss.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't be let down 3 weeks in a row, and then on the fourth Monday of the month, you put out a banger or a very good episode of Raw because I'm not gonna. That's too much time that I've wasted thinking that you're gonna give me entertaining stuff, and then when you do put on an entertaining show, I'm not tuned in for it because of what you gave me the previous weeks.
Yeah.
Like that's my biggest thing right now. That's why it's hard for me to sit down and watch it consistently every single week. Because when I do put on shows and watch straight through, it's the shits of shits. And then I don't tune in and it's a good show and they got nothing to say because I haven't tuned in.
So I feel like that's where stop watching when they have some good Raws.
I mean, Jason's tuned in no matter what.
Right.
So,
but I can at least tell you when something's terrible and something's not.
We've all been jaded, so.
Yeah, jaded to a point, exactly. Speaking of jaded to a point, can we talk about who watched Spring Break on Tuesday?
No.
Jay, this is going to be me and you and I want to get your thoughts and then kind of break it down to the boys and see what they say. Some good stuff, right? It wasn't that people were saying it felt like the most takeover-esque special since they did live specials on the USA Network, and I didn't feel that from it.
Takeover what? NXT takeover?
Yeah, they were saying the chat online was crazy Tuesday. I got into it with a bunch of people, and I didn't. So they opened the show with Pretty Deadly doing an opening montage, and it was the worst thing I've ever seen. I tweeted out. I said, this is the worst opening to a pay-per-view / special I've ever seen in my life. The worst. Right? But then
I didn't mind it.
but then I backtracked my words based off of the bullshit they did with Wendy Chu and Toxic Attraction and those stupid vignettes.
You enjoyed it.
No, I hated those.
You hated those?
I hated them.
I enjoyed those.
Look, you can't. If you're going to lean into the sex sells, then just go with the sex sells. You have Gigi and JC Jane in bikinis, and they're jumping around and they're splashing in the water, and they were blurring out parts because I don't know. I guess certain shots, depending on how the bikini was laying, wasn't appropriate for TV. I don't know, but like if you're gonna run with that, then run with it. Don't then turn it into Wendy Chu in a shark onesie with Roxy, who's just coming onto the roster, who doesn't deserve what she got on Tuesday night, to stealing car keys and sandals to make the girls walk across the hot sand and the hot pavement to get to the car because we're sneaky baby faces.
And who's in the title picture? Who's in the title picture already?
I don't know.
Roxy and Wendy Chu.
For the tag team titles?
Either or.
Are they really in the picture? Or are you just saying that they could be in the picture?
Well, they've been fighting them this whole week. I mean, the last 2 weeks. They're getting eyes on them.
I just don't. But you can't go. You can't have it. You can't have it in the same thing. You can't have it where it's attitude-esque sex sell stuff to late 80s, early 90s campy, cartoony character BS. Like it just doesn't work. It doesn't jive when you're watching it.
I enjoyed it.
And then, I don't know if they leaned into it more based off of what,
But I mean, you got them frolicking in bikinis.
No, my thing is, Jay, if you go, because NXT 2.0 has done this for a while now, where it's Mandy and how she looks, it's toxic attraction, how they look, it's the sexual innuendo jokes and that between Indy and Dexter. When you had Persia and Duke, and I hated the way they ended that this week. I thought that was really poorly done on their part. It's all those things. It's Wade Barrett given the Jerry the King Lawler commentary with
the commentary is what I can do without.
It's all of that. If you're going to do it, then run with it, right? Push it and go with it. But you can't go both ways.
Dave, I'm not putting that up.
Are you geared towards 8-year-olds or are you geared towards?
Well, that's two different styles clashing right there.
Family show.
So do you want 8-year-olds or do you want 18-year-olds?
You want everybody.
It's not going to work because the stuff for the 8-year-olds is not.
That's two different styles. You got Toxic Attraction clashing with Wendy Chu. Of course, it's going to be some hijinks and hilarity with Wendy Chu. That's her character. We'll put her in a sexy shark outfit and have her fight Toxic Attraction.
I mean, according to what Ember Moon Athena said, that's what they want. They have, she came out in the interview this week talking about the, meetings where they've had where they're told how, the fishnets and Daisy Dukes and everything else. And she goes, I'm not Mandy Rose. There's one Mandy Rose. I'm not going to be out there in fishnets. Like I'm a wrestler. I want to get in the ring and wrestle.
It's a valid point, though.
So what are you doing?
She'll pop up with OnlyFans and contradict herself.
No, but I'm just saying there needs to be individuality in the characters. Like, why do they all need to kind of have that?
Was she ever sexy out there in fishnets? No.
I don't.
Did she ever wear sexy attire? I didn't think it was. You're a warrior princess. What do they wear? Sexy attire.
I'm not disagreeing with you there. My big take watching Tuesday night was go with. To me, you go with one. You can't do both. It doesn't play off because it's not you. An 18 to 24-year-old that's watching the show for the sexiness and whatever that they're doing with that stuff, they're going to immediately turn it off whenever they see the campy, cartoony 7-8-year-old.
When they see somebody with a shark onesie on, come on.
Yeah.
Then you're watching for the wrong reasons.
To me, those 3 segments didn't need to be put on the show. And I get it; it's spring break, so you're tying in beat steam and everything else, but it just didn't help do anything for the special.
That's why I didn't mind it, because it was a spring break-in thing.
And the whole Duke and Indy scene where they just had them two standing there with Persia and Dexter not around and kind of leaning into, you think, well, are they going to kiss each other or not? And then they, ooh, no way, I'm not doing that, and storm off.
So how'd they write Dexter Loomis off?
Yeah, that's how they did it. That's how they wrote them both off. And Persia tweeted out, damn, body's not even cold yet, and you're moving on? Like, I don't know. See, I mean, to me, it took away from the wrestling, and some of the wrestling was really good on the show.
That didn't, or for me, it didn't take away. What took away from me was the main event.
Casey's terrible.
He is.
He's terrible. And do you want to talk about a shitstorm and the internet blowing up when he did the Bray Wyatt drop down reverse in the corner? Oh, Twitter blew up.
That wasn't the
Twitter blew up.
That wasn't the Bray. I've seen Bray does a little lean back. I've seen other people do that move.
He did a different version of it, but man, did that set people into a tizzy.
How many handstands in the corner have you seen?
He was.
I get the similarities. I get the similarities
from the ropes.
I think I've only seen Bray do it.
What the
handstand? The
handstand in the corner?
Yeah. I mean,
no, he did a handstand on the ropes. He didn't lean back and do the walk.
Okay.
Yeah, he didn't do the walk. He was hanging from the ropes and did the bend back upside down and did that. So like he made it his own, but
still,
it was not.
I get the similarities though, but just him as a character can go.
And here's the other thing, and we say all the time on the show, don't let the truth get in the way of a good story, right? Vic Joseph on commentary is like, Braun Breaker's wearing the same singlet his father wore on his debut on Monday Night Raw. No, it wasn't. The internet always wins, right? When you make a statement like that, what are people going to do? They're going to run. They're going to run and go screen grab what the singlet he wore, and it was not the same singlet on his debut on Raw.
Is that the Bray Wyatt thing? Is that what you're talking about, Dave? I'm not sure. So. I'm not familiar with that,
but yeah, like don't blatantly lie to the audience whenever people are just gonna run and screen grab what Rick Steiner wore on his debut on Raw and put it out there like, no, you're wrong. It wasn't the same singlet. Like
they love writing their own history,
and he's terrible.
It's a singlet he wore.
He did wear it. There was a picture of him wearing that singlet. It just he was holding a WCW Tag Team Championship whenever he had that singlet on.
It was a singles debut.
So, wrong company. Maybe Vic meant to say when he debuted in WCW. I don't know, but it was the wrong company.
WWE owns WCW, so it was on a WWE program.
It's just and the whole we're gonna have Braun Breaker turn on the breaker to start the match.
I'm sick of all his intros. I'm sick of all his intros. The cutting the X's, they just seem like overdone low budget entrances.
What they're doing, it's starting to turn me off.
It is.
Like I'm starting to get it's not Roman force fed level, but I'm starting to get that they're pushing him that way, and it's turning me off, just like it turned everybody off against Roman. So I don't know what they're going to do or how long they're going to continue to carry it on, but I don't know. He's super over in that crowd and in that audience. So I don't think they'll get the reaction of Roman with the boos, but from a viewer watching,
ever since Mania, they all been heated a little bit. Like Cameron ain't the guy no more, and Braun Breaker's those 2 weeks after Mania, he wasn't favorable.
Yeah.
So with this whole Gacy situation, and then the Druid, they went off the air with Druid standing on the rope looking at Braun over his shoulder. Like they were shooting Braun facing this way, but the Druids were behind him on the ring apron, and just like it just didn't work. It's not whatever. But so yeah, that's my spiel on spring break. AEW. I didn't watch. I watched probably the first 45 minutes live on Wednesday, and then I was doing some other stuff, and I had to go back and rewatch the rest on DVR afterwards. And to be honest, I fast forwarded through a lot of stuff on Wednesday. Wednesday didn't hit for me. Here's another hill I'll die on with the Yum Yum Sauce, Adele, and Lady Gaga. Jeff Hardy is old.
Oh my God!
It does not look good.
Tell him, Tell him.
Oh my
God! Look good in the ring right now.
I mean, I've been saying this for how long?
No, but it is like I don't know if it's like battling injuries or what it is right now with him, but since he's come into AEW, he just does not look like Jeff Hardy. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's just one of those things where Father Time crept up and gave him an uppercut while he jumped ship, and that was the end of it. But
they said that he should have won on Wednesday.
Yeah, I would have rather seen Bobby Fish win.
Of course.
I mean, I get it. You got
younger talent.
You got Jeff and Darby, which to me, I don't know why you're running that in the Owen, because that's the match people would clamor for. So you're just doing it in the first round of the Owen Cup,
which will just be on TV instead of pay-per-view.
Yeah, but not everything was bad Wednesday night, but I did I fast forwarded through a lot of stuff Wednesday night.
I found something that's bad. I was telling Jason all week. It's been going on for a while, but I have a problem with the BCC. I have a huge problem with them. Now, I made up a list of everybody since they became the group who they fought. Let me run down this list. Anthony Henry, JD Drake, Chuck Taylor, and Yuta, Varsity Blondes, Gun Club. When Yuta was with them, Brock Anderson, Lee Moriarty, Dante Martin, QT Marshall, Nick Camarado, Aaron Solo, and last week Angelico, Butcher, and Blade.
Dark Elevation.
If these guys are supposed to be the baddest men in the company, why are they fighting a bunch of jobbers?
That's not where I thought you were going with that. But.
Don't tell me that they need people to build up or anything. You have Moxley, you have Daniel. They don't need built up for anything. Why aren't they fighting somebody? Man. Please give me a storyline or something like that. And I might get heat for this, but I don't give a fuck. The BCC is nothing but a glorified Ryback match. Every time I see them on there, they're just fighting a bunch of nobodies, getting cheers for their yes, 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 yes. Please tell me.
Make sure you set some of that tea for your throat. He saved his voice for this.
So I'll give points out there, and this isn't to counteract or say that you're wrong in anything that you're saying, because I was on the similar wavelength as you with how they've been presented, and my thing is, one, they're going to have them on the show every week because of who's in the group, right?
Yes. And I agree with that. I definitely do.
Yeah, Yuta is becoming a star in the group. Absolutely.
Yes.
So you're going to have him on TV every week, right? So they're gonna be out there wrestling random 3 pieces of people thrown together just to get them on TV. That's 1. 2. What you're asking for will come based off of what's been put out there as far as trios titles have been made. They've already been finished as far as design wise and set up, and supposedly what they're waiting for is for Omega to come back before they debut them and run a tournament or whatever. So the BCC versus House of Black versus the Super Elite versus
Death Triangle,
like those Eddie Kingston, Santana, Ortiz, like those I think once the belts are out there and debut, then you'll get that's what you're looking for there. Right now, I'm sorry to tell you, but every Wednesday you're just going to get this on Dynamite until they debut that. Because
I mean, you at least need to throw. You don't have to throw like one of those teams out there, but damn it, give me like a high mid carder. Like, man, like you could put somebody out there like I don't know who Spears running with anymore like that, but you can't because they're doing the Warlord story.
Yeah.
But you have to give me something to whet my appetite. You just can't be throwing jobbers after jobbers after jobbers out there. And if WWE did this, we would be killing them for it.
So here's a question: would Wednesday night have felt different if they would have had Andrade Butcher and Blade instead of Angelico Butcher and Blade?
A little.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because Angelico came out of nowhere. I haven't seen that man since Jack Evans left.
Angelico.
Yeah. Angelico.
That's what Ringo kept calling him on commentary.
Yeah. They could have used this to build more people. This could have been like these 3-way matches could have been like initiations for at least somebody else in the picture.
See, I thought they were going with that with Lee Moriarty whenever he was kicking Moxley in the back.
Mm-hmm.
But then that just, dissipated.
I think right now the purpose of what they're doing right now is just to continue to build Yuta to get him as high as they can get him before they actually go into trios or whatever. Because I'm not saying that he's not on par with Moxley and Danielson, but he's not. You know what I mean? Like
big gap between them.
Big gap, but the ovations that he's getting. And they all come out separate. They don't come out as a group yet, right? Yeah. They all come out separate. And if you listen each week, I mean, the pops he's getting is more and more and more. So what they're doing is right. Presentation-wise, I can see where it's like, all right, enough with the squash matches, the Ryback matches, the Braun Strowman matches back in the day. You know what I mean? Like. Eventually you gotta run into somebody that's going to be worthy of wrestling you guys and put some doubt into it, because otherwise you just know what's going to happen. They're going to have a match. They're all going to end it with, Moxley doing a pit bull choke, Yuta dropping elbows, and Danielson holding the arms, giving kicks to the back of the head. Like,
does it have to be a trios group too? I mean, like, I know that's the big thing in AEW, but why can't it be right now? Brian and Mox doing their thing and Yuta defending his pure title instead of doing a trios match every week.
Because
the way to get everybody on the show without having everybody on the show in separate matches.
And here, my counterpoint to that, Chris, is if you're building Yuta up the way he is getting built up in this group, when he does come out with the pure title, the view on him is going to be different when he has that pure title match. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to look at him differently than if he was just out there defending the pure title. And I don't even know how the Blackpool Combat Club style doesn't fit for pure title rules.
Yeah.
It's complete opposite. Unless you're, you know what I mean? Like,
just trying to be a different style in that group, I guess. What Steve said about the BCC is the same thing people are saying about Hook now.
I threw this out there last week with Hook with him and Danhausen as far as them being like the Gold Dust Booker T and Mankind Rock, like that comedy duo. I don't think they've reached their limits yet with Hook as far as doing what they're doing. Because the match, at least this week's match, was like the Rampage match with him was the story wasn't necessarily the match. It was what happened afterwards with Danhausen and Tony Nese and that whole thing, and continuing to build. Will Hook and Danhausen actually get together as a team? So I don't think they're there yet with Hook. And Hook, for me, because he's as green as he is, I mean, he only started wrestling matches this year. Like, get him some seasoning by having him do short type squash matches, get his footing, get his moveset down, understand where he wants to go and all that, and then you can start to work him up later on. I think here's the problem. Hook, Keith Lee, I've seen this with. Ruby Soho, I've seen this with. And not necessarily Hook to the degree as the other ones that I said, but everybody's like, well, they're not world champions, so they're the shits. And AEW hasn't booked them properly. And it's like, well, you can't hotshot everybody at one time.
Yeah.
You have a 2-show, a 2-night wrestling program that's on each week. The company's only 3 years old. Like, you're not going to get everybody just thrust into the main title picture as soon as they come in. And that doesn't mean that they're booked poorly or how they're booking them is wrong.
We've talked about this before, that if they did that, people would just say that they're just doing what TNA did.
They're hot-shotting everybody to the title.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I like Keith Lee and Swerve together. Let them run as a tag team for a while. I'm cool with that. I don't need Keith Lee in the main title picture right now. Do him and Swerve at some point eventually deserve a run? Maybe. I don't know. But what they're doing right now with them two, I like them two being together right now.
You have to get them over with the audience.
WWE fan, you got to realize not everybody can be a champion.
That's true too.
Not everybody should be either.
No.
So yeah, I mean, I like look at Wardlow's a perfect example. How long before Wardlow actually wrestled a match? His first match was against Cody in the cage. And then after that, tell me how long before Wardlow wrestled his second match?
I don't remember what Wardlow's second match was.
Yeah.
Probably.
Look where he's at now.
Yeah.
Right? And how did he get that way?
Slow build.
Powerbomb Symphony style squash matches, right? And he's probably your most over babyface right now.
Yes.
In that company, you could argue.
Yeah. Yes.
The crowd reaction comes amazing every week.
Yeah, like look at the timeline. Like, you gotta let stuff go. Like,
can we stop with the 1,000 security guards?
I think that's going to end soon.
I think that's going to stop. I think this week was like the exclamation point.
Yeah.
I was watching like, where are the 4 big guys that took the handcuffs off of him?
And then people were bitching about that match because it's like, well, he only powerbombed him once and beat him. How come it took him 4 powerbombs on Lance Archer? It's like, well, wait a second. Morrissey's an Impact guy. If he comes on the AEW for the first time and gets powerbombed 5 times, what does that do to his credibility?
Yeah. Yep.
Going back in Impact.
Yeah, they had that backstage politics. Said only 1 powerbomb for that.
I think 1 might have.
That was good enough. That was.
Yeah. I think 1 made him seem weaker to me. You could at least have him struggle to get 5.
I would have if you're doing the 1, I would have did the Hogan kick out. Where the hand hits the mat for the 3rd and the shoulders coming up right after. Like, I'm doing the kick, so it's like you caught me, but it was like by hairs that you caught me. And Morrissey looked amazing. His look is fantastic. He's been killing it in Impact. I thought he had a really good match Wednesday night.
He looked like a big guy.
Looked better than almost.
He looked like almost.
No, you're out of your mind.
No. But if he went back to WWE, you'll be all for it.
No, oh God, I hated Enzo and Cass.
Morrissey, see that's my thing earlier. Almost can't move. At least Morrissey can move. You can have a match with him. It's like I don't mind Morrissey because he can at least go in the ring.
Jay, if you've watched Morrissey in Impact, he does way more.
I know. I was being
Yeah, but I would.
He don't
taller edge.
Don't paint him out to be like a ring technician. He was okay.
No, but what big
like
guys
every Cass
are
match, he was okay.
What
it was not
big
a
guys are
5-star.
ring technicians?
Huh?
What guys has are ring technicians? None.
Yeah.
So yeah, like so what Chris said, like you get he can move in there and can do different things and that like
how about Archer?
Archer's the same.
Archer and Luchasaurus can move for their size.
Yes.
Absolutely. So that's how I mean that's like not my grading scale, but if you're comparing them to those two type of guys, I'm like he just was like a giant in there running around. But you got
I think with that
flips.
I think he showed more in his matches in Impact compared to what they asked him to do there on Wednesday night. So
from what I saw in Impact, yes, I agree.
Yeah, he's done a lot more movement in Impact. That Wednesday night was just a meat house fight.
He was supposed to be a wall,
right?
Just add him on for the Warlow story. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, I was okay with the one power bomb.
Yeah,
I honestly, I wasn't sure if he was going to pull it off whenever he picked him up, and Wardlow executed it well. So,
what do you think of Hangman's promo?
I'll fast forward as soon as you start talking.
It was to me, it was very heel-esque.
Yes,
I like the intensity. The shout out to him for getting masturbatory out live on air with no struggle, strife, pause, slip. Not the easiest word to say whenever you're mid promo. I think it was a good start to him and Punk. We'll see how they carry it out.
Yeah,
but
I'm nervous.
I just have no interest in the match.
Well, that's their job to get you hooked for it, Donald.
And they're not because of my CM Punk buys, but I just don't have no interest in it. Seems like Hangman can't pull me in.
He still gets a loud, like when he comes out, the crowd still pops, like. But I feel like he's just floating along as champ right now, which is crazy to say.
I like Hangman. I'd give him the pump whenever he would come out, but yeah, I agree. I don't think this title run's done much for me. I'm ready for a change. I just don't want to see it happen at Double or Nothing.
Anything else AEW wise that you want to touch on?
I threw it out there to you guys. The Dark Order. What do you do with them?
Well, Stu Grayson's no longer with the company. His contract expired April 30th. He put a tweet out yesterday. Thanked everybody. Couldn't come to contractual agreement. To me, the Dark Order, what they turned into, I don't think was the direction for them.
No.
But after Brody passed away, they just naturally became baby faces, and I think that was kind of the worst thing for them. Because I think
it showed that comedic style from them, which some of them have really good style with that, but yeah, it's just the group's done nothing.
They could have ran with that. They were enjoyable.
Yeah.
I think the initial booking and direction for them had no intentions on them becoming true baby faces. And that just kind of screwed them up.
Yeah.
So
I thought by now we'd get more direction with them.
Yeah.
Like a new leader or something by now. Like, and I get how do you really do that like right afterwards, but I just thought by now there would be some better direction. And it just seems like they're still, what are we? Like 14, 16, whatever it is, months after, Brody's passing, and there's still no direction with them.
Mm-hmm.
I think now you can look at the group and you can pick out who could make it and who they need to cut ties with and not re-up.
There's a
Nobody
lot of
broke
that in
out.
there.
Nobody broke out. Like Silver
Silver.
broke out for a minute, but he's still not a guy you see doing anything.
Who was it?
Silver.
Yeah.
No,
I bet you Silver delivers on Wednesday night.
Silver and Reynolds, I think, could be a good tag team if they just focused them on a tag team.
I wouldn't mind seeing them hold the belts. I
Yeah.
like Silvers and Reynolds.
You're not going to get an argument from Donald on this.
Yeah, Donald feels the same way about Punk winning the belt. So, if nobody else really got anything for AEW, I just want to touch on
Your thoughts on Purrazzo, Mercedes?
So,
I was very shitting on it, and I found myself defending AEW again.
Dave thinks that Brody was the leader that was supposed to balance out the group. I can understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to me, it was like the Minions, right?
Okay.
Groot, Brody was Groot controlling the Minions, right? That's where like the comedy, haha, slapstick stuff, like those were they were the Minions, and then Brody came in and set everybody straight to get out there and accomplish the job. Like, yeah. Deonna, main event. I was super pumped and super excited for her to be in the main event. I thought it was a really smart booking decision by Tony to put them in the main event.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea. Obviously, she hasn't signed, because if she signs, she doesn't lose that match. That's the only reason why she loses that match.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I expected Mercedes to walk out as champ.
Oh, see, I didn't.
Yeah.
I did not.
Yeah.
I thought this was her,
But I saw AEW fans shitting on the match. I was like, it wasn't bad. What do you?
No, it wasn't a bad match.
Probably because the fans weren't into it. The live fans.
That crowd was off. That crowd was super off on Wednesday. There was a lot of them they weren't getting into a lot of stuff. They weren't into Phoenix and Dante Martin.
No.
The guy in the pink shirt he was annoying the hell out of me. The pink suit coat.
I did see him.
Stood up for everything. Oh.
I will say the one thing that I thought about Deonna is that she, just her being an Impact for so long now, the 2-year run that she's had there, she came out and she looked like she belonged there. And I hope she does get to go somewhere where she can get more shine on her.
You say that, but that crowd gave her no response.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Which sucks, because she is top 5 right now, a women's wrestler.
And then how many technical wrestlers, female wrestlers, do you see all like that?
Not a lot. Not a lot at all. So,
and Dave just said, she's still with Impact, and that's why she lost. And I agree. I don't know how long. I don't remember them saying that she signed an extension with Impact. I don't know how long that extension was, because they don't ever say. But well, I think at this point I think she's just getting lost in Impact. That's me. But
so since we brought up Deonna and talked about it, Jay, I liked the match. I didn't feel that they needed to shit on it the way they did. We'll see what Mercedes does. I mean, 20 plus years.
See her with a belt.
Yeah,
interim.
Yeah,
right. So, but speaking of Impact, there's a lot of people that left Impact.
I saw Willie Mack.
Willie Mack's done with Impact. Who else? They have a. I think Jonah's done with Impact. There was like 4 or 5 people that are done with Impact off of the last set of tapings and whatnot. their contracts ran out, and that was it. And they're going separate ways. So we'll see what that means roster shakeup wise for Impact, how that plays out for them. I'm not sure, and I didn't write down the list of who all left, which I probably should have, but I'm a dumb mark, and that's why the show is what it is. So not sure where people go or end up, but you see this every couple of years from Impact where they have, 5, 6, 7 people leave that they just don't re-sign or just want to walk away and move. I mean, we saw it when like Ethan Page and them, the guys left 2 years ago, right? There was a bunch of people that left there. So I don't know what it will do for Impact itself, but I'm rooting for everybody that left and moved on and are going to try to do something somewhere else.
What do we got? I know the one that we talked about before was that the Good Brothers contracts are due up this summer, so we'll see what happens with them.
And they showed up in New Japan.
Yeah.
In Japan. So,
I mean, does this mean that Impact and AEW have a relationship again? Because you had 2 Impact people on this week, but we'll just have to wait and see. But I mean, I wouldn't mind that if they can all work together again.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. But yeah, I don't have anything else wrestling wise unless you guys got something else you want to get into.
2
I've
weeks.
got like a couple of things.
2 weeks and a bunch of releases. Who do you want to see? Who do you most want to see somewhere else?
I'm a huge Willie Mack fan. Like I love Willie Mack. I loved him in Lucha Underground. I know Cornette will shit on him because he doesn't look like a wrestler, but the man flat out goes in the ring and does shit that a man his size shouldn't be able to do, and he does it with ease. Yeah, Dave put it in the comments. Candice LeRae, her contract's finally up. So, so we got jokers in both tournaments.
Yeah,
You brought up Candice LeRae's name real quick. Jokers, both tournaments. Men's side of the bracket. The 2 most popular names I saw thrown out there this week was Cesaro, Claudio, and Johnny Gargano.
I'll say Miro.
Okay.
Miro and Joe? I'm gonna get Miro and Joe?
Where's that Randy Marsh meme at?
I like the Claudio callback because of Ring of Honor, and with Joe being the ROH, champ, ROH television champ.
Honestly, any of those 3 I'd be okay with.
Sorry.
Women's side of the bracket for me is a little bit, I don't want to say up in the air, but for me, I got to go Athena, Ember Moon.
Okay.
Who's the Joker fighting?
Brett.
Okay.
See,
So it's got to be somebody good.
You have to have
you're wasting Joker spots now.
Do you for either of them? Do you announce it ahead of time, or do you just do surprise on TV?
Surprise.
No, the music hits and they come out. They're
surprise.
Joker until the music hits.
But to me, one of them has to win. I feel like one should win.
I think Joe, whoever Joe's wrestling is more likely to win because I think Lethal will cost him the match.
It'll be the goofy finish for that. Because that story's still running.
There says maybe Tegan Knox too.
Possible.
There's a lot.
Dakota, but she's on a 30-day. I don't know when they're going to start.
Yeah, I think that'll probably happen before
She's done.
I mean, timeline wise, depending on when, how they break up the matches wise, if they put that match is the last first round match, maybe you could get her there in 30 days. I don't know.
Because they're doing like 2 matches a show, right? Don't they get 2 on next week?
There's 4 total, so 2 men, 2 women next week.
Yeah.
I think the finals are going to be a double or nothing.
That's what they said, yeah.
So, yeah, I guess you can road Dakota Kai out.
I missed that.
Yeah. She's coming for the strap.
Against Brett, I I'll throw it out there for her Joker, Taya. Why not?
That'd be an interesting one.
Fantasy booking.
I mean, Britt and Deonna have always wanted to have a match too.
You don't do that match in the first round of the Owen.
Whoever it is, got to job it.
I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be interesting.
Unless Hater or Tony, or no,
No, Hater and Tony's on the top.
No, I mean, I'm saying like Ruby or Tony or Ruby or Tony interferes. But I don't want that in no tournament.
Mm-mm.
No.
And
Just have plain
right
matches.
now, there's like no like official like prize for the winner of the tournament. So it's like you could really
You
have
get the Owen Cup.
Yeah, I'm just saying like you could have anybody win this. It's not like it's going to be like a hot shot to something else.
You get an extra set of clothes on a new video game.
All right. We got anything else wrestling wise before we drink a beer?
Which I saw they did some more screenshots for the video game. I was expecting more details to come out, but not a whole lot came out this week.
Apparently, they're very unhappy with the developer and are extremely over budget. So this may be a one and done deal with AEW and I think it's Yost. Yeah.
That's what you get for leaving, Ukes. You were set.
Yeah, we'll have to see how this goes with the video game. I'm hoping at Double or Nothing we at least get a release date. Let's go wait and see.
September, I thought, is what I saw.
They haven't officially announced it, but yeah, that's the rumor.
All right. Anything else?
Forbidden Door sold out. More sold out in the pre-sale than it did for the main sale, but
that's expected.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised. And that
people were bitching that they need to be in a bigger venue.
We said Soldier Field.
Yeah.
We said Soldier Field.
If this was the pay-per-view to do a stadium show, this was the one. But I mean, I'm not mad at the United Center. I mean, it is the biggest, arena in Chicago. So, but I would have, why not go all in?
Yes.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Pun intended.
Not.
Last thing, Freddie Prinze Jr. is apparently interested in getting into the wrestling business. Saying that.
Can we pause this take because I want to get into this a little bit more, and we're already an hour and a half into the show. I want to save this take for next week. We can jump right into this next week because I want to go a little bit more in depth to this than just I hate Scott. Yeah, I can only imagine what the prices are on the secondary market for those tickets.
All
right. Anything else?
Nope.
All right. Let's get in the drink of the week.
Chug, 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 chug.
All right, so this week's drink of the week, Cinco de Mayo was a couple days ago, and Chris, you found this beer here, so why don't you tee it up and set it off?
We got Fatheads Brewing Lime Feelin Good. It's a Mexican-style lager, so I'm kind of expecting, like a Corona-ish with the lime flavor already built into it. Fatheads, they're based out of Ohio. They got a place here in Pittsburgh, so familiar with a lot of their beer. Good beer. I believe this one comes in at 4.9%. Yep. So this should
Mighty
be
Lime Cerveza.
This should be very. I'm expecting something light, refreshing that you can really drink anytime.
Did they just take the blob from Billy Madison and put him with the Mexican flag?
So that's like their go-to person. But yeah.
Look, when you bought this, it was like lime feeling good. And I just laughed at the title. I look at the guy when paying attention to the can. So every time I walk past this can in our house, I'm thinking Santa Claus. Every time. Then everybody like, what's the beer? Steve says the Mexican beer. I'm looking like we don't have a Mexican beer. We got a Christmas beer, a bunch of bottles. I've been looking for this beer for like a minute. So I looked at it like, oh, okay. He's a luchador.
The lime's really strong.
Unfortunately, I can't smell, so
So this is going to taste like nothing to Donald today.
I can taste. I just can't smell.
It's a perfect Cinco de Mayo beer.
Yes, it is.
Perfect Cinco de Mayo beer. Yeah, Chris, you were spot on with the Corona with the lime already in it.
That's exactly what it is.
I
would probably add an actual lime to this still.
This is a perfect summer beer.
Yeah.
It is.
Do they have these in bottles? That'd be perfect.
I don't know.
Yeah, this is a perfect summer beer, just like Steve said.
I wouldn't mind going to Fatheads down the south side and getting this like on draft.
Mm-hmm.
Doing that try.
Yeah, if I know, all you guys aren't margarita drinkers for Cinco de Mayo. This is the, Corona with a lime. I would jump on this all day long.
Yeah.
So we're 2 for 2 on the spring summer tour. We had the Jack Daniel's lemonade last week. That was a big hit. A lot of feedback on that video and comments. So that was good. And then now this, I'm almost mad it's dark and rainy out because this has put me in a, I want to be out there playing some cornhole and having some.
Go cut the grass.
Your first cornhole beer.
Stuff on the grill.
Yep, on the grill.
Well done. I'll go 4.25.
Yeah, I'm going high with this too. I'll give it a 4.3.
3, 5.
I'm gonna go with you, Jason. Actually, 3.5. It's a good beer. It's basic and it's good.
Yeah.
But definitely something that I could have a couple of these. Outside doing something.
More than a couple.
Yeah, no,
not this
definitely.
week. We've had
never pour down the sink, even if it's trash.
No, I've poured a couple beers down the sink.
Yeah,
definitely.
Burning bridges.
The hate's still real.
Yeah, so if you guys are out and about and you see this out, definitely pick up Fatheads Lime Feeling Good Mexican style lager. Won't be disappointed. Very good summer beer. So that's it. That's all I got. We're not going to toast and close it out that way.
Even toast.
We're just going to leave. We're going to run the the mighty cerveza on out of this episode of Drink of the Week. All right, this week in sports, big UFC card tonight, although it's going to feel a little bit lackluster in the main event based off of yesterday. So for the first time ever, championship title holder did not make weight and was stripped of the title.
Mm-hmm.
So Charles Oliveira and Justin Gaethje were fighting for the lightweight titles tonight at UFC 274. Big time main event. Huge fight. Was super pumped to watch it. Like, this is going to be a banger. Great. And the weigh-ins come yesterday. Oliveira steps on the scale. He's at 155.5. So he had 1 hour to cut half a pound. And Gaethje, with the most savage of savage tweets, while he was cutting that out with 5 minutes to go, tweeted out a picture of the scale and said, "I've already gained 10 pounds while this guy's still trying to make weight. He got 5 minutes left." So Oliveira cannot retain the title. If he does win the match, it'll go to an interim basis and be an open contest for, I guess, whoever, whether it's Gaethje and somebody else. But yeah, so only Gaethje can win the belt. Oliveira cannot retain. Kind of takes some of the hype away from the main event, which is disappointing because this card is set up to be a really good card tonight.
So if he's stripped, how is it interim?
Well, I said interim just because you always think of interim. You know what I mean? But Yeah, no, it'll be whoever the next fight is will then become the light heavyweight champion. Yeah,
I'm tired of all this.
no. Yeah, no, that's me misspeaking there. Not interim per se, but yeah.
Chris, I remember you said it a couple years ago. Like, if you don't make weight, that is 100% on the fighter.
Yeah,
that's not on the trainer. That's not on anybody else but you.
Yeah, that is your job. When was his last fight? Probably 6 months ago.
Yeah, I don't remember. He beat Poirier. He submitted Dustin Poirier in his last fight.
So you've had all this time to train for this fight. Not necessarily this fight, but you know that at some point you're gonna have to make weight, and if you can't do that.
And he's had issues in the past with coming close to not making weight. So like, the cut is going to be hard for you, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, I'm not one to be talking about people losing weight.
Well, no, but
when it's your job.
Get paid, when it's your job, then that's what you get paid to do.
Some fighters, it is harder to cut weight than others, and he's historically had a hard time cutting weight.
You shouldn't be putting yourself in that division.
Yeah,
but that's the thing with fighting type sports. You always want yourself in a lower division because it's supposedly easier.
And he's not big enough to fight at one what is it, 185 or 185 I think, or 175. Like, he's not, he's supposed to be fighting 155, maybe drop down to 145, but he just historically just can't cut. It has a hard time cutting to make weight. So if he would have made it and dropped the other half pound I think it would have hurt the fight even more, because you have your sweat going and everything else, your last whatever before you get up on the scales, you finally cool down, you think you're good, and then you get on and you go, oh shit, I still got a half a pound to go. So now you got to re-break a sweat and everything else and go through that whole bit that you have for an hour to cut it down, to get rid of that half pound, and just couldn't do it. So mentally, I don't.
Did he go to the bathroom before he had to get weighed? I mean, that could have sold it right there.
That's why people saw fighters cut their hair.
Yeah.
Because of the water in their hair. They did everything possible.
Yeah, like it.
I think we've even seen some just take off their I've seen some guys take off their boxers or whatever. They brought out the
they brought out the little thing, the cover.
They brought out the box. He was stark naked back there, stepping on that scale trying to make weight, and wasn't able to cut it. So I don't know what it's going to do for the fight tonight. Mentally, I don't even know if he's going to be in it, because he knows he can't retain the title. I have no idea what it's going to do. So kind of like I said, a lackluster main event based off of the situation and scenario. But the remainder of the card,
he didn't lose the belt. He needs to go in there and act like a champion. That's what he's getting paid for.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
The remainder of the card, though, is still, it's going to be tremendous fight card tonight. So if you're looking for something to watch, I would highly recommend getting a pay-per-view, because it's not going to disappoint.
So where does this move you down if you're stripped?
See if he loses tonight too.
If he wins tonight and you strip him,
you don't put him in that next fight, right?
I mean, maybe
you probably will.
Depending on how this fight plays out, you could run it back again. If it's a 5-round banger and split decision, you know what I mean? Then you just, all right, we'll run it back.
Yeah, they have rankings, but Dana White doesn't always go by the rankings. He does whatever the fight he wants to see.
Okay. So yeah, I don't think he'll get put right back in the title picture. Like, I think he's gonna have to prove it that we can rely on you. You have the belt. He's arguably one of the best lightweights ever, and he just couldn't make weight. So we'll see. We'll see from there. But yeah, order the card. It's gonna be a good pay-per-view for sure. Bangers. Sports wise this week, I mean, it's getting around that time.
Yeah.
Right? You got NBA playoffs going. There's some storylines going on there. With the whole Warriors and Grizzlies series and suspension and how that's been. I've enjoyed the NBA playoffs so far. or watch again tonight. Philadelphia is not dead. They managed to pick up a win last night, so they're 2-1 in that series with the Heat. Embiid came back last night, surprisingly, after having his the masked man with his orbital bone fracture. So I'll continue to tune in and watch. The Penguins are dead.
No. Anybody surprised by this?
I'm glad I didn't watch that game too.
All right.
You got no faith in spicy broccoli?
Nah, dog, you can't. I mean,
Was
great story for game one overtime win,
Yeah,
but
it was.
you're on your third goalie in the NHL playoffs. It's hard to win a series. So I know, I think two out of the 5 goals. Well, yeah, 2 out of the 5 for sure shouldn't have happened. Like they had their own goal. Then there was another time I think the defenseman whiffed on the check that led to an odd man break, and they scored there. So like they shot themselves in the foot a little bit. I don't think he played that bad. I don't think Domingue played that bad in game 2, but you're not going to beat the Rangers with a third string goalie. It's just not going to happen.
No, and I mean, and it was more Crosby stepping up in that game than anything. And one guy can't beat the Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
Where's Evgeny Malkin?
Where he normally is.
I know he got the game-winning goal, but for that first game 1, he disappeared for 25 minutes out of a 6-period hockey game. He disappeared for half an hour, basically.
It's what he does. It's why it annoys me whenever fans talk about. And I get he has some great statistics and everything, but it's one reason why I'm okay if they would ever get rid of him, because he's just not consistent.
It is. It's like nonchalant every time. Yeah. It's like, I go out there and do what I want to do. I'll play when I want to play.
We'll see.
Crosby game 2 proved that's who he is. He's going out there and he's giving 110% every game, and Malkin just doesn't even come close to Crosby.
Especially that one goal that he had. He fought through like 3 people.
Yeah.
And shot it and got the rebound and scored the goal.
Yeah.
Like unreal. Like you said,
he is who he is.
Like you said, one person can't win in hockey.
No. Especially in playoff hockey.
And especially when that one person that you need to shine has to be your goaltender.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
I mean, they're coming home now, and I'm expecting it. I'm thinking they're at least going to get a win at home, but I don't know. It's going to be rough.
The Rangers look like a young Penguins team from back in the day, just younger. They want it more.
It's just hard when you look.
I can't argue with that.
Yeah, they just look like an old team now. They really do.
Yeah,
just surviving on their name.
Things are, and I've said that we said this months ago when the whole purchase happened. Things are changing in the offseason. It's already started, and things are going to change.
I mean, I give them a little bit more of a pass this series than the past 2 years when they got swept, based off of you have your starting goalie and your backup goalie are out.
Yeah.
You have a top defense. You have a top 6 defensemen out, and you have 2 forwards that you rely on are out. So like, do they get somewhat of a pass? Yeah, but at the same time, you're talking 3 years in a row losing in the first round. So something got to change.
Right? I think it's even longer than 3 years.
I mean, swept in the last 2 for sure, and then this. Who knows if this goes 5-6 games?
Yeah. It does. Yeah, it doesn't look good right now.
No.
Yeah, we'll see. I guess we can touch on this briefly. The NIL deal, college football, college athletics, everything that happened this week with Jordan Addison, the star Pitt wide receiver, entering the transfer portal, supposedly after being tampered with by USC boosters that are going to pay him $3 million to transfer to USC, which he has not done yet. He hasn't committed there. It's still open for him to return to Pitt, but it's led to a big discussion this week with the NIL and the whole, we're just paying to play now.
Yeah.
What did you think was going to happen?
Yeah.
Here's where they went wrong. I have no problem with the players earning money based off of licensing deals using their name and image and getting paid from boosters or businesses, whatever, around the university and surrounding area. But you put no parameters on, okay, what's accepted, what's not accepted from a tampering period. When do you have to enter the transfer portal? When's the deadline for the transfer portal? Like, you left yourself wide open for this to happen, and it happened. So now you're trying to put the toothpaste back in the tube. It's not going to be there. Oh, you're going to cry to Congress. Congress ain't going to step in and handle this. This isn't something that they're going to do. They already nixed in a 9-0 decision to go over and handle this.
Then plus, I think they got bigger problems in Congress to deal with than college football.
It's different podcasts.
But I'm saying,
the four of us can't even speak on that topic. So, but yeah, like you left yourself wide open for this. If you would have changed with the times gradually,
yes,
and done something over the times, when the NIL deal came down, you wouldn't have this scenario pop up because you were already working towards fixing it. But you had the NIL deal come down. You had to do something rash, and you put no parameters around anything. So now it's just open season. If I'm in USC and I got Lincoln Riley and I got Caleb Williams and everything else, and we want the Biletnikoff winner to come join our team, I'm definitely, if I'm Lincoln Riley, picking up a call and talking to whatever famous booster from USC, Will Ferrell. I don't run down the list, right? Hey, reach out to Mr. Addison over there in Pitt. Let him know we got $3 million stacked up for him if he comes here.
Filter it through a company,
okay. Right? And I see Pitt people bashing Jordan Anderson. I'm never going to tell nobody, hey, don't go get your bag. Will he work out in the pros? Who knows? If I can get $3 million as a college kid and set myself up and my family up right now, deuces. I'm going to take the money. And it's my last year before I can enter the NFL. I got my quarterback left. He got drafted.
Yep.
Like, I'm coming off an all-time high. Like, and I can either play with USC's quarterback who transferred to Pitt from the portal, or I could go play with Caleb Williams, who was arguably the most exciting freshman quarterback in however many years, who transferred from Oklahoma to USC to follow Lincoln Riley,
who's an offensive guy.
I think I'm going to go over there where they're going to throw the ball 45 times a game, and I can build my stats up even more. But I don't want to hear coaches crying foul about, oh, it's pay for play and da-da-da-da. Brian Kelly was coming out bitching about, dude, you quit on Notre Dame to take a bigger paycheck at LSU.
Yep.
So, yeah, to me, go get your bag. If you can make money, go get your bag.
Yeah.
I always say, if the coaches can do it, why not the players?
True.
Coaches just could up and leave. Tell your family in your living room, yeah, I'll be with your kid the whole 4 years of that stuff, and the next year just leave. No, the players could do it also.
I don't have nothing else in sports. Those were the two big things, the UFC and then the NIL deal. So we can hop on over to one got to go.
Brian Kelly brought the fake accent with him, dude.
Yeah, and yeah, it's not. That's a podcast in of itself with Brian Kelly. I'm not gonna go there with him. Me and my family, like, it wasn't even a Louisiana accent there, dude. Like, I was a wish version of a Tennessean accent he tried to pull off. Oh, it was terrible. All right, let's get into one got to go. We're already at 1 hour and 50 minutes. All right, the world-renowned, world-famous one got to go. We'll see if the spice continues from the last 2 weeks. We got votes for the beer that got to go.
The beer that got to go, unanimous, was the shower beer got to go.
I bet you all women voted that.
I've never had a shower beer either.
Guys don't know what you're missing out on.
And a poop Pepsi.
A poop pep. Pepsi's poop to begin with, but the fact that you're drinking a poop Pepsi, I'm not even touching that. Let's go on. But bring up this week's list, Chris.
All right. So appreciate Donald for the help on this one. Doctor Strange came out this week.
Whoa! We're tag teaming. One guy to go now. Now you're phoning it in and not doing your own work. Are you kidding me?
No, we're tag teamed on this one.
You guys are on.
He was the one who asked for the help.
I did.
I just led him. I didn't say do this, do that. I just.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So with Doctor Strange coming out,
no group assignment. I'll do all the work. You guys just take the credit for the A's. That's cool.
We got comic book people with mystic art users. We have Doctor Strange, Scarlet Witch, Dr. Fate, and Constantine. So we're doing DC versus Marvel in this list, 2 from each.
Mystic art sucks to begin with.
I think Steve's looking like, do I know any of these people other than the Marvels?
I mean, Constantine, I'm thinking Keanu Reeves Constantine.
That is what's based from.
Very good movie. I have no idea who Dr. Fate is, and that's a terrible name, so I'm just going with Dr. Fate.
So he's kind of like, I guess what he would be like, not necessarily the Doctor Strange, but in DC, he has like some different powers. He come with they. I think I saw someone compare him like he's kind of like Moon Knight. You know, his powers come from his helmet.
Moon Knight's powers comes from Khonshu. That doesn't do anything for me. I'm still
Dr. Fate is a tool, so he can go.
There you go. Perfect description. Thanks, Dave. Dr. Fate can go.
Scarlet Witch is staying because of the Olsen. That's it.
It's not based on the character on the screen, Jay.
Yes, hey. Look, that's the only reason she's staying.
Wow.
Doctor Strange was an annoying movie for me. I like Dr. Fate. I hate Constantine altogether. Between Strange and Constantine gotta go. I hate to be a Marvel guy here.
Doctor Strange is gonna stay. I like Scarlet Witch a lot, just because more than Elizabeth Olsen, but her powers and that stuff could bend reality and all that stuff. If you read the House of M, you'll know what she could do. I like Constantine because he does all the stuff with the demons and everything in the underworld, hell, and all that stuff. And plus his personality is a cool thing. Even though I don't know much about DC, I like his personality a lot. Dr. Faith, out of the whole list, Dr. Faith, like Chris said,
Fate
it's
or
just
Faith?
Faith.
He's sick.
It's just the helmet. So the helmet could jump on anybody, and that person will be Dr. Fate.
That's true.
So at least the other 3 use their powers from themselves. One is from a helmet, so Dr. Fate had to go.
We got another vote for Constantine there in the comments.
Yep. So Constantine can go.
Thank you.
Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch, I'm going to keep them both on. So for me, it's going to go down to Dr. Fate or Constantine. From comics as a kid, I enjoyed Dr. Fate and even some of the stuff that he's done in like modern DC shows. Constantine, I just never got into. So for me, Constantine can go.
You guys collab listed this, and you just killed all of the momentum we've had built up over the last couple of weeks with this segment of the show.
You want another trash list?
This is a terrible
Mystic
group project
Arts.
assignment. Mystic Arts.
They
People
play
are going to look at
D&D.
that title and go, "What are you talking about?" And they're just going to vote based off of the character itself.
Honestly, I think
That's the worst power in superhero.
every week, whenever we do these votes, I constantly wonder, like, are people voting for the one got to go or the one that they enjoy the most? Like every week, like, especially like the beers this past week. Like
The beers was confusing for people because they saw best beer and they actually picked their best and not the one that they wanted to go.
Well, you know what that means is that those dumb marks didn't listen to the actual video, saw the list, and just put a vote out there.
But thank you
Listen
for
to the
that.
clip, Jagoffs. And you, Donald, you don't get a pass for being sick for helping Chris on his homework assignment. You two are Jagoffs too for collaborating on a list this week.
What's a Jagoff? I'm not from Pittsburgh. Don't worry, mine's next week will be stupendous.
Don't say that word on the show. It's stupendous. It's not.
Looking forward to it now.
I'm sure you'll call Chris and Jason for help as well. So
I don't give input.
The conspiracy continues.
Nope. There it goes.
Collusion.
Collusion. I don't got nothing else to say about it. Like, this was, it's whatever. It's a group homework assignment that you
Let's get into it. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning to episode 85. Make sure that you follow us, and subscribe on all our social media channels. We got Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and don't forget, go and follow and subscribe to our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/dumbmarkspod. And yes, Steve, I heard your comment last week. We do have content on Twitch. We're there right now. For all the links and more, visit dumbmarkspod.com.
Trying to think here. Let's see. So, based on what we talked about earlier with the names leaving Impact, the list that I saw so far was, and it was everybody that we mentioned, Jonah, the Good Brothers, and Willie Mack. We're all set.
I think we're a little too old for TikTok, Kenny.
I'm on it.
I don't do content.
So yeah, Jonah, Willie Mack, the Good Brothers, we all mentioned. Those were the names so far. I believe there's a couple more. Haven't seen who they are and where they're potentially going. So there was that there. Moon Knight. Did you guys watch Moon Knight yet?
Yes.
Jay? All right. So we are going to be doing a Moon Knight episode. We're going to break down Moon Knight because there's a lot. No, he doesn't do dance videos. If you listen to him last week, he does bubble bath videos. He plays with rubber duckies.
It's only OnlyFans.
Yeah, we're gonna get into Moon Knight. We're gonna do a little seperate episode. I
think we have to have another roundtable.
Yeah,
we got Batman, we got Moon Knight. We're gonna have Doctor Strange.
Yeah, we'll reach out to some of the usual players that like to join us for some debate and get into some hijinks. So we're gonna set up and do a special here. We'll cover Moon Knight and probably the Batman, Doctor Strange. We'll give people a little bit of time to go see that before we break that down.
No, we don't. They're not given time, so no, we're not.
But yeah, Moon Knight. We'll get into that specifically here. I'm just double checking.
I saw a thing. It's an app that anybody uses. Duolingo is a popular app that's based here in Pittsburgh. And I saw this week that at their headquarters, they're going to open up a taco shop to where you can go and eat. But if you want to, they'll do things to help you learn Spanish at the restaurant. I was like, people that are trying to learn a second language, it's a different way to immerse yourself into it.
Just give me a taco, man.
If you want to, that's all. You can just go and eat. But
it's like hibachi. Just give me the damn food, man.
Immerse yourself in the full experience, Jason. Not just eat the food.
What's taco in Spanish?
Muy bien, por favor.
Taco.
You guys.
Spanish goes to 7th grade. That's it.
Dave says he'll bring his lag.
Real quick, I have Watch Mojo. They brought out their video with the top 100 movie villains, and I have the top 10 here, but I'll just name off the top 5. Number 5 was The Wicked Witch of the West, in Wizard of Oz. Number 4 is Hannibal Lecter in the Hannibal series. 3, Count Dracula. 2, Joker from the Batman series. And 1 was Darth Vader from the Star Wars series.
There you go. Didn't even have to look at the list to know.
Interesting. I'm okay with
so,
that.
So much for killing content for another episode we could have did where we just broke down the list and go on in depth of it. So we throw it out there in final thoughts. It's good planning by us.
Well, we still have 95 more to go.
Still got to round out the top 10 there.
Yeah.
Coming soon on the roundtable.
Facebook ads on my timeline are pushing MILF candles right now. So baby mamas, be on the lookout.
Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah. Some people might get one.
MILF candles?
MILF candles. Hey, my timeline was on. I don't know what in the backup wish was my timeline on, but
your algorithm, boy.
All this week I bought one t-shirt and then damn, it was just shit everywhere.
What centerfold content did you make for Mother's Day for the ladies out there?
I thought you said MILF Campbell's, like the soup, to where it spells out MILF with the letters, like the old ABC soup back in the day. I'm like,
going to something.
Campbell's. That's a weird flex for Campbell's. You said candles with a D. Like, okay. What are
how many did you buy?
MILF candles. What are the scents? Baby mama.
I have no idea. I was buying
back pay. Like what are the scents?
I think I was looking for a candle from my mother. It said, "What did it say?"
Your dads. Yo, get me off this topic. Keep rattling them off.
Did you buy some candles so you can have those for your bath?
No, I went to buy my mom a candle, and it was like some witty saying about, this is the only gift you need from your favorite son. But
you're gonna buy your mom
my timeline into a spiral. So I'm finding a good shirt to buy, and then that's in my timeline into another spiral. Just MILF everything.
Gonna buy your mom a MILF candle.
Hey.
Real quick, New Japan Capital Clash. That'll be coming up soon.
I think next weekend, right? Next Saturday?
Yeah, next weekend. 4 of the matches that I saw announced, you have for the IWGP United States Championship, Tanahashi, Juice Robinson, Will Ospreay, and Moxley in a 4-way. You have Okada and Trent Beretta against Jay White and Hikuleo. Tomohiro Ishii versus Eddie Kingston. And then Brody King versus Minoru Suzuki. Or 4 that I saw so far. So nice little card line up there. I guess little preview taste what you can expect from the Forbidden Door. So looking forward to that.
I did see New Japan has I forget what they called it, but it's a type of visa that's like not every person in New Japan has to get a visa. It's like something that like the whole company can use it. So it's like whoever they want to send over here, they can send over.
All right. Anything else? Final thoughts?
No.
All right. Because we talk about Mother's Day. Shout out to all the mothers. If you haven't gotten a card and you're, that guy running out late to pick up your mother a card, good luck.
Soon as we end.
Terrible. And typically with a quote of the week, we leave some positivity for you guys to go into the week with, and I didn't come up with or see any type of Mother's Day quote of the week.
Positively? Damn.
One quote that I did see, which I thought was very interesting.
When Steve isn't telling us all to fuck off, he tries to do some positivity.
Hey, your mamas.
I chop you down all show only to build you back up again. That's good. That's good coaching. That's what I'm supposed to do. No, but I saw Jim Irsay, the owner of the Colts, came out, and I saw this quote from him and said, 1 teaspoon of inspiration can change everything.
You quote Jim Irsay.
I was expecting Boys to Men Mama.
Nope. 1 teaspoon of inspiration can change everything. So go out there, continue to inspire others. And you never know who you can affect with that inspiration. No pun intended there with
The inspiration.
The inspiration. So with that, thanks for tuning in this week. Make sure you go to YouTube, like, subscribe, hit the bell, get the notification. And until next time, I'm a Mark, you're a Mark, tell a Mark. Y'all can catch us around the way.